This is our very first live video, so I have no clue what I'm doing. I hope all of you can join and we can chat. I've been kind of slacking off on the videos lately, and I said, you know what? I think the live would be best. That way we can talk, interact, and see what's going on. Our gardens are doing excellent as far as raised beds. Our pasture garden, not so much. This week, we finally, after 15, 16 days, got some rain on our corn. So we're going to try to lay it by tomorrow. Laying it by means side dressing it with ammonia, okay? So you'll dig a trench by the corn, put your fertilizer down there, cover it up, and hope and pray that it rains, okay? So that's what we're doing tomorrow, because there is I think 51% chance of storms tomorrow afternoon. That's what we've got going on. We have been growing and focusing on everything we can. With the price of everything, right now it's like we're pressured to do all of this. So I brought back the mop buckets. A lot of you have followed along with that. All of the $1 mop buckets from several years ago, we brought them back out. We filled with pot and mix that I got on sale after I'd reused that in another raised bed. And we planted field peas, bush beans, and then I tried acorn squash, spaghetti squash, watermelons, zucchini rampicante, cucumbers, the whole 9 yards. Every bit of it's doing great. So we have been focusing on that. The main thing we're trying to do is get a huge bulk of food that we can can. This week, we canned our first 3 quarts of bush beans. So I'm so tickled about that. It has started. We're loaded down with pole beans, bush beans, and in the raised bed, I actually did lima beans this year. Never could get them to grow in the pasture. Well, they're doing great in the raised bed. Zucchini, squash, they were annihilated the past 2 years with squash vine borers, knock on wood. This year, they're doing great. Not a bug or pest in sight. I have been pruning the leaves. If I see little round red dots on the leaves, that's the eggs for that squash vine borer. I'll yank that leaf off, take it over to my chicken pen, let them take care of it. Weeded out the gardens this week. That has been a lot of trouble, but we finally got it done, and that's what we've been doing. My tomato plants, they were all heirlooms this year that I planted, and I planted several different varieties, and I must say, these are the biggest tomato plants I've ever seen, but the only catch was they were so huge that the tops broke. They just finally fell down. They were so loaded with tomatoes. We have, I think, 3 as of this afternoon ripening on the vine. So, yay for that. We'll finally have a fresh tomato before the 4th of July, hopefully. Knock on wood. So, guys, that's what we've been doing, and I wanted to do the live stream to hopefully interact with some of you guys and see what's going on. Like I said, I've never done a live stream before. I was hoping that maybe we could all chat, see what's going on. And I think instead of the chicken scratch talk time so much, I'm going to try to do the live stream and hopefully incorporate all, everything that you guys are saying into what we're saying back to you. If you don't know us, we're Harmon Homestead. We're a husband and wife that live on approximately 3 acres in rural Alabama. And we have chickens. We did have quail. We got out of the quail. We have ducks, and we have 3 gardens. One is very small, one's medium, one's very large. That's what I call my pasture garden. We took land that was never used before, and we turned it into gardens, okay? The pasture garden was always just a beautiful pasture, and I had my husband disc it up, turn it under, and we planted. And that's been a struggle, and that's where I learned how to grow. My raised bed was put over a spot that was filled in, that I had filled in, that was an in-ground pool. And we are growing there. And then our newest raised bed was made out of a pine tree that fell, and we just bordered in a place that was never really good for anything, and we're growing out of that. And then also, last but not least, I guess what you could say we're famous for are the mop buckets. the stackable planters, and the mop buckets. These do not have to be fancy. You can go to any store and get a food grade mop bucket, any kind of bucket, and drill holes in the bottom, put pot mix in it, and plant. That's it. You just have to know your plant's capability as far as the root space. That's how I learned to garden, was starting with buckets. Years ago, I tried tomatoes in buckets. Hey, Little Ridge Farm, howdy. My first notification. Hey, welcome back in, guys. Glad to see you, glad to have you. I tried buckets years ago, and I got these at a big box store, brought them home. It was a pre-packaged tomato plant, and put them on the deck. And at the time, I worked shift work, and so I would come home late at night and water the tomato plants, and they just never did do well. So I didn't know if it was because I was watering it at 1 a.m. or if it was the bucket or where it was placed. So, but it's still, that right there, I saw that something could grow in a bucket. And I just got creative and got into all this food grade stuff and realized that, hey, for $1, I can plant bush beans, lima beans, whatever else in these mop buckets. And that's how it started. And it really started when my husband said, no, we're not going to do another raised bed. And I said, oh, yeah, we are. I'm going to plant some more food. And so I just went out and got my own little mop buckets, and then there we went. If there's a will, there's a way. And so I got all this stuff, got his drill out, and there you have it. And just out of the mop buckets last year, I think we canned, I don't know how many quarts, I'm going to say at least 20 quarts of bush beans in 30 mop buckets, maybe. You know, you can grow food out of it. This year I tried the black-eyed peas, the field peas. I would like to try lima beans. I'm pressed on time here, and I'm pressed on the weather. I have watered and watered everything, and it's just not, the weather is not conducive to growing right now here in rural Alabama. So hopefully next week there's supposed to be a tropical system moving through. We'll get some rain. Our corn, knock on wood, guys, tomorrow we're going to lay it by and see what happens. I don't know. So that, you know, that's what we've got. The reason we got into homesteading is it was before COVID happened, and I always liked to garden, but I didn't know what I was doing. If you've not watched our videos, I had no clue what I was doing. I would go out and buy hydrangea plants, and I'd plant them in the ground, and they'd die, okay? I'd go buy azaleas. I'd plant them, they'd die. And I was much heavier in weight than I am now. And years ago, I started eating fruits and vegetables, and I lost a lot of weight. And I just got kind of into eating fresh foods, fresh vegetables. And when I married my husband, I was still doing the healthy dieting. And I said, this stuff's so expensive. That was in 2018. This stuff is so expensive, like sugar snap peas, carrots, kale. Oh, that's where I found I love kale. I said, there's got to be a cheaper way to do this. And then that's how I got into it. That's it. And I was just determined to garden. Now, credit to my husband. He won't get on these videos much, but he showed me a lot. He come from a family that gardens, and they know what they're doing, and they've done it their whole lives. And so he helped me along. If you know someone that knows how to garden, go get advice. Because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't know how. Someone just put lots of bugs. Y'all, Japanese beetles. I planted 3 plum trees this past spring, and one is completely dead. Japanese beetles have just zapped it. I've sprayed, I've tried everything known to man, dish soap, and it's just not working. The humidity here is outrageous. Right now I'm sitting out here outside on my porch, and you can hear the crickets and all. The bugs, y'all, are awful. The humidity is awful. This past week, it has been, I think, 3 degrees shy of hitting a record high in Birmingham, Alabama. So, it's hot. It's hot. I think the heat index was, I don't even know what it was. It was well over 100. We were 98, I believe, Thursday. So, the actual temperature. So, we're trying to survive with these bugs. But, knock on wood, no squash vine borers. Someone just put, why did you get out of the quail? Well, we we inherited a quail pen, and it was on legs, and it has like a metal roofing top that's rounded, and it was from my husband's sister. Well, there's no way that airflow can really escape. It's got chicken wire on the sides, but it's so hot in that pen, and our quail would just die. And we finally figured this out later on, that it was too hot in that pen, and that's why the quail were dying. They would just collapse. They'd have water, they'd have food, no signs of disease, no eye drainage, no eye bubbles, none of this stuff. You can research it all, any kind of respiratory stuff. We even processed some of the quail. The meat was fine, everything was fine, but they were just too hot in the location we had. And the quail was more of my husband's thing. I personally did not care for the quail. They were gifted to us as eggs. We hatched them. I thought it was cool. I did not like grinding the feed when they're chicks. I did not like having to use a heat lamp, because I got to be a huge fan of the brooder plates. The brooder plates have been a lifesaver for us. I feel safer with those. They're like a fire risk, safety thing. So I just like those. And I did not want to go back to the heating lamps. And we were using puppy pads in the bottom of the Rubbermaid totes for these quail, and it was just gross to me. I just didn't like it. They were just almost too feral. They were too small. They grow quick, but the amount of meat you get, meat per feed ratio, I just don't know if it's what the internet gurus say as far as coming out ahead. I like the chickens better. That's just me. And my husband finally agreed. Like I said, we processed some. We loved the meat, but it was just not for us. And they finally all just died out, and we just said, okay, that's enough. We may get back into the quail, but we'll have to have a different setup. It's just not, it just did not work out for us. Now we have baby chicks in that quail pen right now, and they're doing fine. They're, I think, 7 weeks old. We've got some Bantams and then some Wyandottes, and they're doing fine. We just don't, the quail did not work. And I was, Mrs. Homestead here was just not a quail fan. So that's the bottom line. My husband likes these bob whites and all that, and thought about getting into that, but that's just not, I don't know. We got too many animals running around for all that right now. Now, I will say, my ducks. For my birthday, I did a video. We got Muscovy ducks. Let me tell you, my husband, who says all these animals, it's becoming a zoo here. He said the Muscovy ducks, he said that's the way to go. They're quiet. They don't make noise. They do not stink like everybody says. We got a galvanized feed trough. It's got a flat bottom. We fill it up with water every most 3 days. Otherwise, if it's not that hot, we can let it go a week. Change out the water. Little feed. Right now, the Muscovy ducks are actually, this is pretty embarrassing, but they're sleeping in a dog kennel. A dog crate. They are doing fine. Huge eggs. Hey guys, I don't know what happened, but for some reason, we went off. So anyways, I'm learning this. I'm just seeing all these comments now. Y'all bear with me because I don't know how to read the comments. Let's see here. Live chat. Okay. Little Ridge Quail Farm. Road Dogs Custom. Okay. Hey, congrats, Little Ridge, losing 130 pounds. Grow your own food. Eat vegetables. This was my motto. I tried Weight Watchers. I tried everything known to man as a 15-year-old all the way up until 30, what I am now. And let me tell you, if it comes out of the ground, eat it, and you're good. That's it. Lean beef, whole wheat, any kind of vegetable or fruit, and you'll be fine. And exercise. You can walk 10,000 steps a day, and you'll be just fine. That's how I lost weight. So, anyways, I'm sorry I got interrupted. Like I said, I'm just now seeing all these comments, and I didn't know what I was doing. So, let me turn it back on to the live chat. Like I said, I don't know what's going on here. So, but anyways, the whole thing with this is I would like to get started on the live chat and these live streams and talk to you at least once a week. It's easier than editing. I work several jobs. My husband works. We work full time. We work more than full time. We've had a lot going on. I think everybody's lives have been disrupted a little bit since COVID, and we've got a lot going on with family. So and home and everything else, bear with us. The whole point of this was just to talk to you, to connect with you. I thank all of y'all for still watching us and communicating with us. I'm still getting comments. A lot of times I won't post a video for 2 months and people are still watching. The numbers are still going and people are watching more of the educational videos, and that's what I love. If I can get another 30-year-old into doing this, doing it the way my great-grandmother did, then that's what it's about. Guys, I'm around people my age all day long. No one cares about this. If it's not some kind of, I don't know. I can't even explain it. I'm old school, as they say. I am very old school. Everything I do is old school, and everything I'm involved with is old school. So if I could just get one person into doing this, whether you're old, young, in between, get out, grow something, learn something. That's what it's all about. And you'll be a better person. You'll feel better. You're healthier. It's just, that's my life's mission. And I don't know where it's going to take me. No, I don't think we're going to be popular by any means. And I don't think that we're going to be the next superstar. But I feel like we will hopefully influence somebody to let you know, hey, we're on the same playing field here. And we don't have much, but we're making it, and we're doing it, and we're proud as peacocks here. So anyways, I won't stay on this live stream too long. Comments, questions, y'all let me know. I read every single one of these. It keeps me going. I read them in the morning when I get up at 4 o'clock, and I read them when I go to bed. So talk to me, connect with me. We'll see you in a couple of days. Hopefully we'll do another one real soon. We'll see you next time on Harmon Homestead. Bye, guys.